Benny, what episode is this?
15.
Episode 15 of the Real Ones podcast.
Sir,
You ready for this, TP?
I am ready.
Thank you guys so much. Please subscribe. We want to hit the 100 mark.
Yep. Like and subscribe, comment, let us know who you want us to have on. We plan on doing this for a long time.
A long time, as long as we exist. Right, TP?
As long as we got Benny.
As long as we got fucking Tate. That only might be 12 years.
Damn. All right. Let's really start it.
Let's really start it.
Yes, sir. We are back with the Real Ones podcast. It's Thomas.
And Joey.
And we're doing it. Episode 15.
Of the Real Ones podcast.
Yeah, how you been?
You know, I've been chilling.
Yep.
Doing the damn.
You and Tate doing the damn.
Look at him. He is a demon growing up right before our very eyes.
Yes, sir. We got a good one today, though.
Who do we got on today, TP?
Martin Soaries.
What does he do?
Martin is a jack of all trades, founder of Basketball Society.
Shout out Basketball Society.
He is also does digital marketing for CCCI.
Shout out CCCI.
Freelance video producer.
Shout out the freelance video producer.
Skills development trainer.
Ooh, he's developing the skills.
Developing the skills. And co-owner of Holistic Hooper.
Ooh, the holistic Hooper.
But yeah, I've known Martin for a little bit now. I mean, he played basketball at the high school I grew up. He was more with like my brother.
He was older than you.
Yeah, older than me. But I knew him because I started filming basketball, and he was already pretty well known. He had Basketball Society, which was like an interactive like basketball page that he gave opinions, allowed other people to give opinions. Followed high school basketball, college basketball. But all around, just great guy. Anytime I've ran into him, anytime I've had the pleasure of talking to him, really cool guy. I know he does a lot with the athletes he trains, even with Holistic Hooper. Like he's not just physically trying to get them better, but mentally.
Oh, damn.
I see. He focuses a lot on mental training with them, and it's honestly amazing. I love someone who's giving back to the community and paving the way for the new ones to come, no matter what field you're in.
And he's been doing the content himself?
Yeah, from what I know, he does all the content himself. As I said, he freelances too, so
yeah,
he does it all in house. I know he's got one of these mics too. He sets up. Yeah, dude. He's ready. I already know he's ready.
All right, I'm ready.
I'm ready too. Tate's hungry.
He's hungry. Hop on in. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, sir.
All right, man.
Right there.
Yeah, this is pretty cool, man. You guys have a dope setup here.
Thank you, sir.
I like that you guys are doing what I see you do for other people for yourselves.
We have to.
Got me really excited when I
you know.
saw you guys doing this.
Yeah, man.
We have to practice what you preach, right?
Absolutely.
Exactly. But yes, sir. We're here. Here's the man, Martin Soaries. How's it going?
Great, man. It's great to be here. Great to see you guys.
Yeah, man.
I love the show. Love the platform.
Appreciate it, man. We love what you do too. I was kind of been filling everyone in the past couple of days of what you do, and what I see from you, and it's kind of like you're very goal driven, but very humble and leveled at the same time.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. I haven't seen you in a while too. Like
I've been
watching you, and I saw you show up here. Like I know Firm. Like Firm is how I know.
Shout out Firm.
Yeah, shout out Firm.
Is like when I started out, Firm was there with me, and that's how I know of you guys. And I saw you here, and then I've just been tapped in. I see what you're doing across multiple things. So,
I appreciate it. Yeah, it was like all basketball, and then just slowly and surely just turned into more of the video production side of things.
Yeah,
and loving it. But I still love doing my sports
man.
too.
You're doing great work.
I appreciate it. You too, man. So like,
thank you.
Where did it all start? Like, did it start with basketball? Like when you came into picking up a camera, like where did it all begin?
Yeah, definitely. My mom actually reminded me recently that like when I was 5, apparently I like ran whenever there was basketball. I would run to a hoop or a basketball and stuff. And I knew my mom would always tell people I started playing when I was 3 years old.
Yeah,
which probably meant like I just started dribbling.
Yeah,
and it was clear I really liked basketball. But she told me like, yo, we would, in airports wherever we were, if you saw basketball, you were like you would go out of your mind. So that makes a lot of. I'm glad she told me that. She told me that like last week. I'm glad she told me that because it makes a lot of sense. Because that really has been the driver and the connector to everything.
Yeah,
everything. The camera, the lifestyle, the everything has grown out of that. So
Yeah.
that's what it is.
When did you first get into the camera side of things? Because you played basketball your entire life, right? Like, I mean, still basketball is you.
Yeah. The camera, a guy by the name of Mike Penix, he teaches video at Franklin High School.
Okay.
And I worked at my dad's church part-time, and Mike does the video and live stream stuff at the church, and he gave me a Canon T3i, I think it was, and he told me how to turn it on, what to press to hit record and all that, and he was like, do what you got to do on the church side. I had just started with like basketball content, so I was like, I'm gonna take this home and actually like put it to use for myself too.
Definitely.
That was around 2014 or 15. And then like in the next few years, I just started like branching out and figuring out like what I could actually do with it for myself, and then filming games, and it evolved into more things to do with it in basketball and in other areas.
Yeah. And then like that so Basketball Society, that was the first thing. Like I knew of you from being in South Brunswick, knowing like the basketball culture in South Brunswick. But Basketball Society and the Visual Hub, honestly, were like the first things that I was able to look at. Are like, all right, those are things that like I can do too. Like get out there, film some games.
Can you tell us a little bit what Basketball Society is?
Basketball Society is an independent multimedia brand that started as a blog, where I just wanted to have my own platform to do whatever I wanted with basketball. So it evolved organically. It didn't start as me saying I want to have a basketball business or I want to do media. Like none of those words were even part of me when I started. I just started a platform. And so it's evolved really organically and really naturally and beautifully into just an independent media brand that does exclusive content, covers players, tells stories, and also offers skills development training, because I took up, personal training and stuff. So that's kind of an arm too. So we try to be like a lifestyle brand, a resource for players, for people in the basketball community, whether it's media or whether it's lifestyle or whether it's development.
Oh, damn. When did you know that you wanted to have it into a business? Because it sounded like you started off for fun at first, right?
Yeah, like I just started a blog. I started writing NBA playoff predictions, and it wasn't even called Basketball Society yet. But as I went, the training side of it was like business. That was the first part that had me like on a business side. And then as I got better with the camera and the videos, that opened up a new side of like business that I could do to, make money and do things like that. So it just like over the years, it just kind of happened. As I got better at things, more opportunities for like using it as a business became more possible.
100%. So like, how did you, did you send like the work that you've done before to like brands to get like more clients, or like how did you kind of grow your roster or your book of business?
It was social media, Instagram specifically. I used to have a team of like 10 to 20 people, and I was just getting them. They were writers. They were people who wanted to do social and be on Instagram and stuff. And we were posting a lot of NBA highlights and clips. And this was like in 2015 when Steph and the Warriors started going crazy. It was literally that year when we had like a team of, people posting clips every night. That's when like the highlight wave on social media was really kicking up. People were going viral on Twitter, posting mostly Steph highlights. Like when Steph would go crazy on the late night game at 1 a.m., if you had a clip up of him by the morning, your clip was probably going viral. So we experienced that, and that grew our page so much, really, with NBA highlights. That's what grew our page. And then as I started to do like more personal things like skills training and covering specific players on the high school level and people that, who are Steph Curry fans may not know about, your local player at St. Joe's or something, or may not even care. Yeah. But as I started to dip into that, it just expanded, so I just had to make room for both, because I wanted room for both. I didn't want to just be posting NBA highlights all day. So to go back to your question, as we gained that following and influence, it gave me a little more influence as a trainer and as a person who wanted to offer things to basketball in different capacities.
And then from there, when did you know you wanted to start like going to a local high school basketball game and covering certain athletes, whether they were really well known or not so much?
That happened naturally too, because like the players I was training were starting to get older and going to high school, and by that time I was like, oh, it makes sense. I was like, okay, I see. I was like, I can go to their games. And then I see, Unguarded and all kinds of people out here like doing. I'm like, yeah, this is it. And Firm really introduced me a lot. He took me to AAU tournaments and stuff. And I had another guy, Steve, who's a coach now, who wrote for us at the time, and he loved doing high school stuff. And I didn't cover high school at all. I was more on the NBA college side. I was like, you take care of the high school stuff. He took me to one event, and we were tweeting stuff and doing stuff from the event, high school kids, and it was circulating on Twitter. I'm like, okay, I see, I get it now. I just wasn't into it until like my kids like came up into it, and I was like, okay, now I'm invested.
Yeah, that's the thing with like the high school basketball world. If you're in it, you're in it. Like you know everything that's going on, but then if you're out of it, like you would have no idea who.
Dude, this was like 2018. He's talking to me about class of 2029 and all. I'm like, what? I'm like, dude, what is this? Like, what are you talking about?
You got this first grader coming up right now.
Yeah, right.
It's crazy. Like to see baselines go from maybe like you and maybe one other guy, and then they're just filled up. Sometimes I'm sure it's you're driving to a game, you're like, man, I hope I can even get a good spot on the floor.
Well, not you, of course, or
it depends.
He's got private parking.
Thomas is stamped, man. He can get in anywhere. Yeah. I can too, by the way. I mean, usually, but only because again, I've had a couple kids that have been fortunate enough to do well, and so I kind of feed off of them too. So
and you're following some kids like from high school to college, like their whole kind of come up.
Yeah, I mean, since I've been training, when you're in it that long, I've been in for what, like 6-7 years. So my little cousin, who's a senior at Rutgers Prep, we just dropped the first trailer for his documentary, So Be It, this week. He's a senior at Rutgers Prep. He's committed to Marist College. I've been working with him since he was like 6th grade. Wow. So, I have a few kids like that. Another one of my guys, Cam Paget at Rutgers Prep. I mean, I've been fortunate to see certain players really grow up and develop, and it's been really awesome.
So it seems like you grown your brand like pretty organically through like viral clips and things like that. Is there a tip or something that that'll make a video go viral, or is there a method to your madness?
The videos that I have that have gone viral are always a highlight clip. I try to get specific with the stuff I share. Now I don't have a team of people. It's really just me holding it down. So I just, I'm intentional about what kind of highlights I share and why I share them. I try to point out something specific that people, might appreciate or enjoy. It might be something funny. It might be something detailed about, it could be any number of things, but highlights are always going to get people sharing. As you know, sharing is what gets it going, and people love seeing someone get dunked on, or even just silly moments. One tip I would say is because this is something we picked up on when we started out, when I used to live tweet, because I used to write for, shout out to DefPen. I used to work for DefPen and write NBA stuff for them when I was starting out. And my guy Jared, who runs DefPen, he's still doing an awesome job. He would teach me how, after games, you got to watch Chuck and Shaq and them. You got to, look for clips of them too. Don't just think when you're done watching the game and live tweeting to get those extra little things, even during the game. If someone trips and falls, if there's something in the crowd or the stands, look for stuff like that you can post too, and kind of build a little mini story around, if you will. So that's a tip I would give for sure.
Yeah, those moments that kind of just stand out, whether it's on the court.
You guys know about the moments. You guys know. I'm talking to you guys know. You guys
really, it's it's not always the quality or all the other things to it, but the substance to it. You give a good, fresh perspective on things. When I'm watching your videos or you're dissecting something, it's a fresh perspective that you're not really getting anywhere else.
Thank you.
And that's what's refreshing about going on in Basketball Society. Mm-hmm. It's a constant, just you could be on there for hours. The content is all over, and it's really good content. Really good content.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
So from Basketball Society, you do a bunch. You're freelance, but Holistic Hooper.
Can you tell a little bit about the viewers what Holistic Hooper is first?
Yeah, Holistic Hooper is a platform that is designed to help basketball players learn how to tap into meditation and mindfulness, and how to breathe and stretch better. My partner is Eric Van Tyne, who runs Stretch Plus. It's based up in North Jersey. He came to me during the pandemic, and he wanted to combine our platforms. His platform was called Built to Perform at that time, but he does what's called fascial stretch therapy. He's one of those, he puts you on the table and swings your leg around and gets you right. And he did it to me one time, and I was like, yo, what is this? Like, it's like massage mixed with, how they do. I mean, it's stretching mixed with massage, but I mean, Jesus, I came off that table feeling like a god. Like, I was like, yo, tell me more. Like, I need to know more.
Joe could use that.
Oh, 100%. My knees all fucked up.
Oh, dude, you got to no, man, you got to go. You got to go. So, I'll get you there. I'll pay for your first session, like literally, man, because I know he'll do you good. So I had to know more, and he's really into that stuff. He's got certifications and all that, so he knows stuff about the body. He's telling me about fascia, which I've never heard about, and tissue and all kind. And and he came to me because he played in high school. We knew each other from college. He ended up transferring. We were supposed to play together in college. He transferred, but we stayed connected. He saw what I was doing. He was like, yo, I want to offer what I do to basketball players. Let's combine what you do and what I do. Came up with the name Holistic Hooper. And, now we're just building out content and now some resources coming soon online for hoopers just to help them tap in. We worked with my college team. Actually, we did a session with them, offered them kind of like a team mindfulness guide. So it's designed to just help hoopers tap into better stretching, better breathing, and mindfulness and meditation.
And you're going over the mental aspect of like the game and life as well.
Yeah, I mean that's that's what comes with it. The hook, fortunately, as I've started my meditation and mindfulness practice, is that I can tell them that this will help your game, and I can explain to them how that will happen. But on the back end, it's actually going to help you as a human being and in your life, which, they don't, some of them like hearing that. Most of them don't. They like the part where it's like, well, how does that help me on game? Well, I'll tell you and I'll show you. It works. But it helps them in so many other aspects that then they learn and it becomes their thing and their practice. So, as I've grown in my practice, I've shared it with, the few players that I'm mainly invested in that are closest to me, like, the players I mentioned before. And they've picked it up, their own practice, and it's really cool to see.
Do you think it's harder to teach younger kids mindfulness with so many distractions nowadays between like social media and things like that, to be like fully present? I feel like a lot of kids nowadays aren't there a lot of the time. Their mind's somewhere else. Why is it important for like people, or even basketball players, or just people in general, to be mindful, to you at least?
It's not hard. Honestly, it's not hard. It's not hard because we all breathe every day. We all do the things every day already that go with mindfulness. Every time you fall asleep, you're being mindful. So there are things that are already there. So once I give, in fact, do we have like 90 seconds to do a quick just a quick,
let's do it.
Quick breathing exercise?
Yep. Let's do it. Love breathing exercise.
All right, bet.
Let's do it.
So just settle in. First, drop the shoulders. Just drop them. Drop the eyebrows. Drop the shoulders. Drop your hips into whatever surface you're sitting in. Just sink in. And the first thing I like to do is just let all your air out through your mouth. Just slowly, just start to let it out. Just start to drop. Let it all out. Slowly, let it all out. Let it all out. Until you can't breathe anymore. Until you cannot breathe. Let it out. And then inhale in through your nose. And then out through your nose. All the way out, soft. Exhale all the way. And then when you're ready, back inhale through the nose. Fill up all the way to the top. And then slowly exhale through the nose. Focusing on that warm air coming out. Softening the eyelids, softening the eyebrows, softening the shoulders. Exhaling all the way. And then inhale again through the nose. Fill up slowly. And then exhale out through the nose. Slow, warm, soft. And then just take one more breath in through the nose. And sigh out through the mouth. Exhale. So teaching that is not hard for me.
That's good.
Once I learned it, once I really learned that it's simple, slow down your breath. Slow down your breath. Breathe through your nose. This was designed for breathing, not just for smelling stuff. This was actually as I've learned through reading these books and stuff. Now I read this book called Breath: The New Science of a Lost Art by James Nestor. Changed everything. Mm-hmm. The main thing it taught me is that this is designed for breathing. This, not your mouth. This is for eating. This is for breathing.
Yeah.
Once I started breathing through my nose, things started changing. That's the best way I can put it. It would take too long to go through it, but things started to change. My meditation practice, my daily rhythm, my energy levels. Yeah, things started changing.
So just the breathing in itself. Have you had athletes come back and say like, wow, whether it's like from stamina or focus on the court, like if they came back and be like, this really helped in this part of the game.
I got text messages. I got screenshots of messages from players that, most of them like they adopt a certain practice or routine before the game. Usually that's the, I'm trying to teach the next level for some of my guys who are really tapped in. I'm trying to get them to use it in game. That's like kind of the next level for them. But before a game, what better thing to do? Because the challenge is that, of course, like, again, you could meditate yourself right to sleep. I mean, I do it almost every night, and it's foolproof. But you don't want to obviously go to sleep before you get. So a lot of people associate meditation with being relaxed and calm, which it does do for you. But there is also a balance, which I've taught to my guys. It's like what it truly does is bring the true you out, and that's what you want to tap into when it comes to before a game, meditating before a game. But yeah, I've guys and girls. I hate to say it this way because some people have, asthma and breathing capacity. Yeah. Some people, it has to be really catered to them. Mm-hmm. But I'm pretty sure this is a 100% guaranteed, foolproof thing. I don't have to pay anybody. I don't have to go anywhere. Like, we all have access. So, this is it.
Yeah, 100%. And I was actually reading a book called. Have you read Be Here Now?
No, but I've heard of that.
Yeah, great book. And it kind of talks about how if you're ever kind of lost or want to be present in the moment, just focus on your breath and you'll be there.
I'm reading Now is the Way by Corey Miller, is it? Right now. Every mindfulness book or even like self-help or growth book that you might read is going to include meditation or breath work. Yeah. Every single one. In some section, it's going to say meditation. Yeah. And it's going to have some kind of blurb or 2 paragraphs or story about how I started meditating every day at 5 a.m. or whatever it is, So it doesn't have to be that, but use it. Use it. It's free.
Do you have any tips on meditating? Because I remember when I first started meditating, I'd do like a minute and I'm like, oh shit, my mind's everywhere. And then 2 minutes and then slowly built it up to like 5 minutes, but I'm still having trouble crossing that like 5 minute mark,
Yeah. Do you play music usually when you meditate?
I'll do like a mindfulness or like a mindfulness, something instrumental.
The biggest tip I always say is just try to stay with it, stay in it, and remember that there's no perfect way. Like if you feel yourself dipping out, that's supposed to happen. Remember how powerful the brain is. We have a computer that lives in our head, so turning that off is impossible unless you want to flatline. It's gonna run. It's going to. You can get it to. I've gotten to a place where it's. Maybe you have too.
Like
when you do it,
you feel like
I got
tripping.
It more than once, dog. It's whew.
But
that place
once you
is
get
real.
attain that too, it's like once you can do that consistently. I have never been able to get it consistently, but once you hit that the one time, you're always trying to get to that same point, which is crazy.
Yeah, I would. If you practice for every day for about 2 weeks, I would say you'll start to build. Because I've done 5 minutes, 8 minutes. 10 to 30 an hour. I've whatever I need, I'll take that. I'll meditate, like just a little breath work. I'll do that while I'm listening to somebody talk. I'll do that. That's where I'm like, you can kind of do it anytime and apply it.
How does this translate to the rest of the things that you're doing? Because you do like digital marketing as well, right? And like you're a freelance videographer and things like that. How does like the mindfulness and breathing exercise kind of translate to like what you do on like a day-to-day basis?
Well, right now my task is to get this to as many basketball players as possible. I have to bring meditation and mindfulness to the forefront of basketball. And there are many people who have done it, who are doing it. I have great mentors. I've talked to people. I'm still talking to people. George Mumford, Laura Mitchell Wild. There's all kinds of, athletes, former athletes, practitioners, professionals, all kinds of people that are doing great work in this field. But I am specifically tasked as a basketball Jedi to bring this to basketball players, to make sure they know they have access to the force, as it were. And when I say that, it's like, obviously I'm a Star Wars fan, but I'm not like a crazy like Star Wars fan, but I love so I recognize that everybody has access to this. So when I say that, it's like, as a basketball player, yeah, I can help you with your crossover and you between but are you here? Are you tapped in? Are you breathing? Are you thinking about your breathing? Are you thinking about yourself first? And that has changed the way I train basketball. So right now my task is basketball. Maybe it'll go beyond that, but right now that's where my focus is with it.
When did you first find this mindfulness? Like, was it when you were playing basketball in high school? Did someone?
Oh, Thomas.
I already knew the answer to it.
If I was meditating in high school, dog, I wouldn't be here. You wouldn't know me. Y'all wouldn't. I wouldn't. No, we would not be here. No, sir. No. The pandemic.
Oh, okay.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, the pandemic.
So recently.
I wanted to offer meditation to players during that time when everything was shut down, everything was virtual, and I had access to this meditation center in Chicago that was doing virtual meditations, and I was like, yo, let's do it. Zoom, let's set it up once a week, twice a week, whatever. Yeah. I would get a few hoopers now and then, but it turned into me. I had to be there every time just for practice with what you preach, right? I had meditated a few times. I was interested in it myself already, obviously. Yeah. So that deep in my practice, that turned, the woman, Chris, much love to her. She ended up just becoming my teacher. And I would ask her questions and stuff. So, because some days it would just be me and her, I wouldn't always have sometimes we'd have, 10 to 20 hoopers on there. Like they would come through, but sometimes it was just me and her, and I would drill her with questions because I wanted to know, because I had an experience every time. Yeah. Every time. I don't know if it was the isolation, the pandemic, the shutdown or whatever, but I was sitting in my room going places. Like Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, dog. You know what I'm talking about, Joey. You know what I'm talking about.
I'm there all the time. I get mindful sometimes.
I know, man. And it was just like, I found it. I'm still looking for it, but I've also found it, if that makes sense.
Is there like pro athletes that, like, say someone's younger who is interested in this mindfulness and this breathing, but they're like, well, can you point to someone for me that can
is a role model?
Give me an example that this actually works.
Man, when we lost Kobe, that really changed a lot for me, because Kobe was going to do two things. He was going to be doing this, bringing meditation to the forefront, and he was going to be turning up women's basketball. Go back to your question. I'm sorry.
So, like, when a player comes to you, it's someone.
LeBron is meditating. LeBron is partnered with the Calm app right now.
Shout out the Calm app.
Yeah, absolutely. There are athletes. You do have to kind of like show it to them. Because even LeBron is kind of like meditating on the bench and stuff. You gotta find it and look for it. But and I look for that kind of stuff, so I always see it. But LeBron is LeBron. So the fact that he's doing it is great. Exactly. So it's like, I can always say, listen, LeBron's doing it. Why is it not good enough for you? Yeah. There's other guys too. Kyrie is tapped in.
Yeah, I was going to say my favorite player was always Kyrie. And it was for the fact that, from the way he moved with the ball to just like his calmness in crazy moments.
Yeah.
Like the NBA Finals when they came back, like it looked like he was just taking deep breaths on the floor.
Right, yeah. And if you watch Brooklyn Nets games even now, if you see Kyrie's free throw routine, he almost breaks the limit for at the free throw line. He takes a huge breath. I mean, huge. Like it really, he's gonna get violated soon. He takes too much time at the line. You think you get 10 seconds. He takes a huge breath at the line right now. Kevin Love has been outspoken about meditating and stuff. So like even with the mental health conversation, DeMar DeRozan's been outspoken. You know, a lot of guys have been outspoken in that sense, which usually leads to mindfulness and meditation. So that's a good thing too.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
100%. It's great that you're focusing on like the macro of people and basketball players, and then slowly trickles down to like the skills and the things that come secondary. Because at the end of the day, I feel like we always start with us in mindfulness and breathing and being just present, and then from there it kind of trickles down to everything else.
Definitely.
Well, if you guys haven't noticed, basketball is actually the most poppin' game right now. And when you think just across the board,
Really?
Youth all the way up to, I mean, we got third graders on Instagram going viral right now playing basketball. Not you know, I mean, you know, you'll get a viral little football clip or something, but basketball is there's a reason why. You know, the NBA is where it is. There's a reason why overtime is the way it is. You know, like basketball is popping.
That's why I gravitated towards it. Like
the game is just, there's something about it, and I've always knew it since I was 5 and I was running too. There's something to it. I've always believed that. So it's natural that basketball society, you know, basketball plays a huge role in society. Whatever's happening in society affects basketball. Whatever's happening in basketball affects society. So it's only natural that someone like me would come along and start to run around calling himself a Jedi, talking about, yo, we can use this game to better ourselves and better the world. You know, if we do it right, if we bring our skill sets together, if we grow, if we develop, if we meditate, if we, you know, we love each other and da 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 and all that, you know, boom, that's the force. 100%. And now we're unstoppable.
So I kind of want to circle back to more of the business stuff. It seems like you grew a team organically between the partnership with Holistic Cooper and the basketball society stuff. What's your key to building a team?
You gotta utilize social media, man. You got to utilize social media and, you know, and websites. I think I used Craigslist or something. Like I was desperate. I was just looking for people. You also need to have, like, you know, something that people would want to be part of, and be willing to include them. You know, that's the key. But I don't have a team anymore, so I don't know if I'm really that credible on offering advice on building a team. I mean, I built a team, but you know, the team's gone. So
it still seems like you're selling like a team atmosphere, like a bunch.
I like to. Yeah, I'm still collaborating. Yeah, no, I mean, like you said, Eric and you know, now I work with people, you know, kind of like outsourcing, but I don't see it that way, because anyone I work with, I consider like partner, family, brother, sister, like, you know. So, I mean, I love that part of it anyway. Beautiful. Yeah,
definitely. And you're still out filming games?
Yeah, I mean, mainly Rutgers Prep. Last couple of years, I've been focused really mainly on them, on Rutgers Prep, working on these documentaries. And
I saw something with the NIL deal.
Yeah, so we signed Jaden, my cousin. And,
can you dip into that a little bit? Well, first of all, can you explain to some people watching what a NIL deal is?
Me.
Or Joe. Joe's very much not in tune.
But you've heard of NIL. You know, I mean,
that's not really, no.
Yeah, I can't say.
Really?
He's
not so
really
much?
on the outside of the sports world.
Okay, so you've heard of like the college athletes getting paid.
Signed,
you know? So that's pretty much open to high school as well, you know? DJ Wagner, if you've heard of it, like the top high school kid in New Jersey or whatever.
We had a project fall through.
Pain point. Sorry.
DJ's my favorite.
Yeah.
I mean, I followed him for 2 years for Slam.
You shot for Slam, right?
But yeah.
So right. Really,
yeah. Him and
he's great.
Him and his father are just like two peas in a pod right there.
Yeah.
Kudos to Dewan Wagner. Such a great job with DJ.
No, man, he's great. But
yeah, so NIL deal. So it's basically giving high school athletes the opportunity to make
so
money.
Wagner, I think he signed with Gatorade or somebody. So high school kid Bronny James obviously has signed NIL deals and stuff. So it's an opportunity for athletes to sign deals in their name, image, and likeness to be representatives, or sponsored by the brand. They promote products and all that good stuff.
And I would say basketball is at the forefront of that too. Like all
It
the
is.
big time
in college. I mean, these
athletes,
college kids.
Like it wasn't football high school athletes pleading to
right.
be able to accept money. It was the kids like Mikey
it was the
Williams,
high school-
Bronny
it's
James.
the-
Like it really is. Like not soccer players.
The basketball
nothing
kid,
else.
these young basketball players are the ones becoming like the biggest stars. Like I don't know the up and coming hockey star, the baseball star or something. No, I know
couldn't even tell you
Jada.
what
Even the girls, I know
Yeah.
Jada Williams. I mean,
100%.
these kids are getting blown up by by these platforms and stuff. So it's just something about the game.
Diving into the NIL deal you did with one of the athletes.
We signed. I had a contract made, and we signed Jaden and Cam, the two kids that I've trained. They play at Rutgers Prep. Signed them to NIL deals under Basketball Society. So they will represent the brand. It's kind of like what they were doing already, but we formalized it more.
Yeah.
They'll be doing a couple campaigns. We try to do what makes sense because they're in school and it's in season.
Mm-hmm.
So, they get merchandise and we do some things on the back end, but they're going to be doing some stuff throughout the year. Again, we're doing documentaries on each of them. Jaden's is coming out this spring. We just dropped the trailer for that. So be it. And so it's a way to like formalize our relationship and our connection and make them real like representatives of the brand.
Oh yeah.
And you as Basketball Society putting on events as well.
We were before the pandemic, and I'm starting to just think about possibly doing it again.
You want to hop into rapid fire?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So rapid fire, we're just gonna shoot off some questions.
Okay.
And just answer it under a sentence, basically.
You go first.
All right. Favorite pair of kicks.
Nikes.
Favorite basketball player?
Kobe.
Ooh. Favorite athlete that's not a basketball player.
Muhammad Ali.
Do you know Sadhguru? Do you?
Sadhguru.
Yeah, he's like a mindfulness guy.
Favorite high school basketball game that you were able to film.
Probably, I think I was thinking about this. It might be Roselle Catholic versus Ranny a few years ago when Scotty Lewis, Brian Anton were there. Yeah, that was like.
I remember
a lot
seeing
of great games.
That was when I was just still filming Dev at the high school because that was the best I could get at the time.
Yeah, that was like
yeah.
my first year covering high school. Like
Yeah, Scotty was like the first person that was like, oh, we have talent in New Jersey, and then it just showed me all the other talent that was in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And then hooking up with Unguarded, I was like, oh, there's a bunch of talent in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Favorite book?
Breath: The New Science of a Lost Art by James Nestor.
Ooh, favorite drink?
Orange juice.
Ooh, favorite fast food?
Wendy's, technically.
I love Wendy's.
You do?
When I try to
Technically, it's
It's funny.
Wendy's.
It's funny because there's one right down the road, and I've never seen TP get it once.
Yeah, just because I don't like to. I don't know. I try to eat good. It's tough.
Yeah, like I don't eat fast food a whole lot.
Yeah.
But like if I'm saying my favorite one, technically, it would probably be Wendy's. Yeah.
Yeah. What's your diet like? Are you eating a lot of like eating clean a lot of the time?
This might sound weird, but I don't eat a lot. I really don't.
That's like me.
Yeah, I don't eat a lot. I don't know if it's the work like flow
Yeah.
or whatever,
I
but
don't
it's
either.
like like when I get hungry, I eat. But it's like
I feel like at
it's
the
like
end-
I just
yeah.
eat a whole lot.
I know my problem is like the end of the day, I don't eat anything. I like binge eat for an hour and then I go right to sleep.
I haven't eaten
That's
yet
okay.
today.
Same.
No, actually, I had a little bit of parfait before I left.
Ooh,
Yep,
no parfait.
that's I've been on that lately. That's a good breakfast because I
Yeah.
don't usually eat breakfast.
I think that's the thing. It's like if I have stuff like accessible and then I can just boom real quick,
Yeah.
then I'll eat more. But like thinking of sitting down and eating like a full lunch in the middle of the day, that's it. Like I don't think I can recover from that.
recover. Right.
God forbid I had Wendy's. Like
Dude,
done.
last time I had Wendy's,
No bueno.
not good for me.
Oh man.
Anything else you want to touch on?
Yeah. So for Basketball Society, is your like what's the overall? Do you have an overall goal for it? Even Holistic Hooper. I know you said you want like every high school basketball player and basketball player to have that
Not
mindfulness.
every, everybody ain't gonna be a Jedi. Everybody
Yeah.
ain't a Jedi. Everybody. And again, and so just that doesn't, if I can shed a little light,
Yep.
the Jedi thing. It's like that obviously doesn't mean, like, if you think of the nature of a Jedi, it's like humility, service, positivity, discipline. Like it's embodying those traits in whatever you do. So
Yeah.
it doesn't mean that I'm better than someone, or that even that I could move you with my mind. Like I tell people, it's like that's the way they put it in the movie. But you guys can appreciate this. It's like if something was put in a show or a movie, somebody experienced something, whether one of the George Lucas or whoever, someone experienced something where they said, "Yo," like they didn't just make that up, like the Force and like you know what I mean? Like they didn't, not that they saw that exact thing, but they experienced something where it's like, "Yo, we need to put that in a movie and like make it look like that," But it's real, but it comes from real stuff. So I just wanted to shed some light on that whole,
sure.
that whole Jedi thing.
If you called your best friend right now and you asked him or her to describe you in one sentence, what would that sentence be?
I don't know. Martin is a great guy.
What's one piece of advice you give your younger self?
Start meditating sooner.
Yeah. I wish I had that.
Yeah, I wish someone told me that too.
The amount of my anxiety used to be through the roof before my games.
And it has to be the right kind of person, So because like if certain people who tried to tell me to do certain things, if they came to me on meditating, I'd be like, I mean, it has to be the right kind of person to introduce you to it. So 100%. I volunteered myself.
And it's awesome that you have such a passion for basketball and such a passion for like meditating and mindfulness. And both of those, two of them are just kind of meshing together as one. And it's kind of creating like a higher purpose for like, what you're doing right now.
Yeah, it's connected. Awesome. It's connected to everything. Like I said, we breathe every day and all that. So it applies to basketball. It applies to everything. My dad was a pastor, so I grew up in hearing about God and religion and spirituality. So you pair that with the fact that I also watch like Harry Potter and believe in magic and believe it. And then I'm coming across Star Wars and stuff, and I'm seeing, and it's like, wow, I got a whole lot of belief. So I'm dangerous, So I'm dangerous. So what I chose was what was not even chose, what was given to me was basketball. We all have a connection to something that keeps us tapped in, and my thing was basketball. So when you put all the stuff that I was grown up on and saw and experienced, you put that together, then I chose something as my mission, and so now I gotta connect it all, because it's already connected.
100%. It seems like your whole life kind of came together organically. You know what I mean?
by grace, bro. By the Force, it did. It did. Yeah. I mean, I'm grateful. Like I was coming over here, like it's part of the mindfulness practice, but like I'm grateful to be like this. I'm glad you guys let me do the breathing exercise. Like I feel like it brought us even more here, like 100%. Because because I appreciated coming in and getting right to it. Like I love that format. Like I just wanted to do that and just start talking to you guys. And then I appreciated the ability to even slow it back down and then reground and then like remind ourselves that we're here. Like, as we all know, we lose people every day, like young people, old people, all kinds of, so like, when you start to practice the mindfulness and stuff, just, you think about things, you share things, and you're just reminded of how grateful you are to still be here in this, in this plane. Like it's a blessing. And like, I'm so like, I'm grateful to be in this yellow chair. Like I'm grateful for this joint. Like I'm grateful to like be sitting across from you and here with you. Like I'm grateful for this space. My man over here, like doing his thing. Like he's been floating around, like tapping it. Like I'm grateful to the media, the X, the logo. Like I feel like I'm where the real ones, bro. This is where I'm supposed to be right now. So I'm like, I'm truly grateful.
That's beautiful. That's
a good way to wrap it.
That right there is it's what
it's all about, honestly.
It's really what like I strive for. Like those moments when like, because for us like things can get real chaotic at times, or like the uncertainty of things, whether you're going to a shoot and like your mind can be all over. You have these three things all happen to you at one time, and then you're like, oh my God, I gotta. Yeah. It's just being able to like sit back and be grateful for it all, the good, the bad, like all of that.
Like I mean, you guys, the learning experiences you guys know, man. You guys probably seen it all. You've been through
not yet
everything. I mean, not yet, right? Exactly, but you've been through so much that definitely. Certain things. It's like me and my brother always talk about this. When something goes wrong or it happens, you have to be grateful, because it's like. I will never let that happen again. I forgot to make that edit on the well, guess what? that won't. I won't let that joint happen again. You
Yep,
know. So
100%.
everything's a learning lesson.
That's beautiful.
TP
And
won't break his laptop again.
Yeah. This camera right here.
Where can the people find out more about you?
Yep.
Where can people find out more about me? Find me on Instagram at martin.soaries or Basketball Society at Basketball Society _ on Instagram. Stay tapped in. Much love.
Beautiful.
You want to wrap us with the quote of the day one more time to that camera?
Quote of the day?
Give us
You
a quote
got
of the day.
got anything? I mean, he's been given so much.
Oh, it's
So
not
many good.
Yeah, exactly.
I got one for you.
Beautiful.
Tell 'em.
You know, I came up on, like I said, my dad's a pastor. The people who I grew up and studied the most growing up were Kobe Bryant, Louis Farrakhan, and Kanye West. So what you know about me is that I can talk.
Yeah.
Kanye said this one time in an interview with Charlemagne. He said, take all the money in the world, everyone's money, pile it up, put it together, everyone's money, and put it up against the ocean. And who's going to win?
Beautiful. Everybody, Martin Soaries.
More and Soaries,
Appreciate
everyone.
you having on.
Thank
my
you.
man. Thank
Much
you.
love, guys.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
bro.
Thank you.